Okay, looks like I had a little bit going on there in my description box. I had to delete a bunch of stuff. I had too many words in there, so that's what took me forever. So let's see who we have on tonight. This Friday night, February 11th. Looks like we got Carla, Carol, Karen. Nice. All right, so if you are watching, let us all know where you're watching from. That's always fun to know where people are watching and logging in from. If you like this video, you can always share it. That always helps my YouTube channel out. And I'm trying to get to 9,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so December 31st. So I'm at 8.41 right now, so I'm getting there. All right, so there's a bunch of stuff in front of us, and it's fun stuff, right? It's all paper crafting. I'll go over my host code. We are getting, we're about halfway through, well, not really, almost halfway through the month of February, so you still have a couple of weeks to take advantage of my host code. And this month for February, I will be shipping in March, because I have to wait until the end of February to ship out my host code. So this month, for the month of January, I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for those matte black dots to come. I did get a Stampin' Up shipment today, and I've got 2 more on the way coming, but I can't remember exactly which one it is in, and I haven't had a chance to open up tonight's box, so I'll do that after the live. And if they're in there, then my customers will be getting shipped their host rewards from January. It's a little late. Usually I'm the first week of February, but it's taking a little bit longer for UPS or USPS to get to me from Utah to Vermont. So that's been the delay. But this coming month, so during the month of February, any order between 50 and 100 and, well, 50 and above, well, 50 to 149.99, it's always confusing. And you use this code here, which is, I don't know if you can see it, so I'll read it. It's 9SFUQA97. I'll be sending you a really cute card and one of my list pads. And these are the ones I sell at my craft fair. So I use the Daffodil Afternoon paper. I actually have 2 of them ready to go. So come March 1st, I can ship these right away. So I kind of like that idea of actually sending my craft fair items as a host reward, because then I don't have to wait and I can get those out the door so much quicker. And they'll cost about the same amount of money to ship this versus, you know, some embellishments. So that I'm going to consider for the month of March. So we'll see where that one goes. And then with my team meeting, I had an Inspire Daisy's team gathering on Wednesday of this week. We always meet virtually or in person. The month of February, it was all virtual on Zoom. And we had our team gathering. I had a guest speaker, Dawn Stock. That was really super fun. And she explained the starter kit. And if you're a demonstrator, how to share it with your customers, which is very important. You want your customers to know that if they have an $80 order with you, you should be purchasing the starter kit. So for my customers that are watching, you will be receiving from me this weekend a notice saying you should be. It's not the first time I've actually said it, but I'm going to put together an order for you that will get you the almost $124.25 worth of products from Stampin' Up! For $99 and free shipping. And I'm going to put that together so you can kind of see where your savings are. So purchasing the starter kit is a great thing. You can become an independent demonstrator and you don't really have to sell. If you purchase paper crafting products, then the starter kit is the best way to go, because you're always going to save at least 20%. And you always get to see the product a month earlier, sometimes a little bit more as a demonstrator than the regular customer. So I think that's very, very important. You don't have to sell. You can be your best customer. And I have a lot of team members are hobby stampers, and they're their best customer, taking advantage of that 20% savings, or some of them are at the 25% savings. So anyway, we had our team gathering Wednesday, and I demonstrate a card. So in this instance, I wanted to learn how to do or make slimline cards. So this is the one I had as a sample, and then this is the one I made with my team. It was a little bit more simple because a lot of my team members are new stampers, and I wanted to bring something simple. Plus, this one here took me a lot longer to make than this one did. So I want to show you how you can make cute, simple cards in no time at all tonight. And then I gave them a mystery. Let me just get it over here. It's off to the side because I need the cheat notes there. So I gave my team this sketch sample here, and you can see that ahead of time with the meeting agenda. And they had to get all their supplies together. It gives measurements, so that's kind of fun. You don't have to think much about it. Cut your paper and design it kind of based on this. So I wanted to make a Valentine's Day card because I need Valentine's Day cards. So I use the Sweet Talk Designer Series paper, plus a new embossing folder, which I'll talk about a little bit later. For this card is the one I made. This was my sample card, and I thought it needed something on that cardstock vellum. You know, I know it's really hard to see, and I wanted to show them how to die cut from Designer Series paper as well. So we will be making this card design as well tonight, and I'll be using a different color scheme because I want to try to bring you a third different, it's going to be the same design but different colors. And same with the slimline cards. I'm not going to be making either one of these. I'll be making something else with You're a Peach Designer Series paper. So if we are all ready, let's get started. I think I was going to start with, yeah, I need more space when I do the slimline card. So I think I'm going to just start with my Valentine's Day card first. So let me just move. Oh, another thing, you guys. So look at this. Okay, when I made this slimline card, I instantly thought of my list pad, right? Here's the other one that's actually better to show you. Look at that. It's like, can you imagine giving this as a gift and sending this card with a gift, right? Isn't that like super fun? So a great way to use your Designer Series paper. All right, let's move back to that your Valentine's Day card. So I'm going to leave my host information there. It got a little crooked, sorry about that. And we're gonna make this one. So let me just find. Oh, and that slimline card, we're going to make some envelopes too, so you can use your Designer Series paper as well. So there's lots of little things with this one. And I'm using, let's see, the stamp set I'm using is Catching Butterflies, which you can earn for free with a $50 order. So $50 order, you get a free stamp set. It can be Catching Butterflies, and you'll get one of my list pads next month. So look at all this, look at all the goodies you get for just placing a $50 order. All right, so we've got our basic white envelope, and I don't want to lose these dies, so I put them in the kit. And then I've already embossed the panels because I didn't want to bring my bigger machine to my desk. And this one will not fit into the mini cut and emboss. You'll need the regular cut and emboss machine. So here's the Gingham embossing folder. Let me just show you about, since I've already embossed with it, this is what it looks like. And I've got to bring it really kind of close to the my phone here. And I'm sorry, there's shadows. At night, there's always shadows, and I can't, there's no way around it. So this is the regular side, and then this is the deboss side. And you can kind of tell by the, one side is a little bit rougher than the other one, but this is a really fun pattern. And you could sponge this too, and that would look really nice sponged with Blushing Bride as well. So tone on tone. So Gingham embossing folder, I would highly suggest that one. And then here's my vellum cardstock, which I've already embossed with the gingham. And it's just a matter of what side I want to put down. And this piece is 3 by 3. So let's start with a card base because that's the first thing we need. I've got Blushing Bride, and it's 5.5 by 8.5, and I've scored it at 4 1/4. Now I'm just burnishing it with my bone folder. One of my customers is a really, she's been paper crafting, but she doesn't know terminology, so she doesn't know what scoring is. So if that's just a basic thing that a lot of people may know. I didn't know what burnishing meant when I was starting out. I didn't know what scoring meant. So we all start somewhere. So I'm going to promise her a video on how to score. So I'm going to be doing that this weekend. But that was just a side note. All right, so that's your card base. Now we're going to add this panel here, and basically you got to decide which side do you want on the front and what side do you want not showing. This is Blushing Bride, so tone on tone, and it's 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to take my liquid glue. People call this green glue, Tombow glue. I call it liquid glue, and I like to use liquid glue or Stampin' Seal Plus on embossed panels. Make sure you always cap it after you use it, and make sure you store it so the point is downward. Some people do like to use this side. I have never used this side, but I have seen people use it. In my kids class that I instructed in January, all the kids were using this side. I think it reminded them of those like glue sticks. So it's whatever preference you like. All right, so now we're going to just add this panel right to the front of the card. And it takes just a little bit longer to it stick down to the card base because of the embossed panel there. So we've got that. Then the next layer up, let me just cheat here, is that Designer Series paper. And this is called Sweet Talk. I think that's what it was called. Yes, Sweet Talk. So you could go with the hearts or you could go with the stripes. Personally, I like the pop of the real red and the Blushing Bride hearts. So I'm going to go with the hearts. I think I might want to zoom in just a little bit. I feel like I'm just too far away. So let me just see what that looks like. Okay, I think that's a lot better. Sorry about that. Sometimes it's really hard to see. I got my ring light off to the left of me, and I think that's what's kind of creating the shadow effects. But I need it because it's too dark in my craft room at night. So this one I'm going to make a little bit different. I'm going to slide this a little bit more over to the middle of that Blushing Bride panel, but not in the center. I still want it offset just a little bit. Okay, so that's easy. Now we're going to take our embossed panel, decide which side you want on the front and which side you don't want to see. I think I want this side not on the front, so I'm going to add my Stampin' Seal right in the middle. And then I'm just going to layer this kind of in the middle. And I'm looking at the left and the right side of that vellum. It looks like it's just about a little less than 1/2 inch, or very close. This is 2 inches and this is 3 inches. So of course that would be 1/2 inch, Karen, on both sides, right? Fridays, I'm always so tired just because it's the end of the week. So sometimes things for me don't make any sense. All right, so then the next piece is this little square. It was a scrap, and the instructions said 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. So I am going to pop this one up. I did not pop it up on the other two cards, but I want to see what it's going to look like if I do that. So I'm going to take some of my dimensionals from my last paper pumpkin kit. I did the alternatives with you the other night, and I'm not using my take your pick tool. I just grabbed my old piercing tool, but I'm going to use the one we actually sell. So these are all the mini dimensionals that I have left over for a paper pumpkin. And when you join Stampin' Up gives you for free a past paper pumpkin. So in that paper pumpkin, you're going to have a block. You'll have glue dots, mini glue dots. Most likely there'll be some dimensionals in there because they usually do send them with their kits. You'll get some kind of like linen thread or ribbon. So you always have tons of product left over. So if you're just starting out, kits are a great way to get a little bit of supplies in your craft room that you may not normally have. So you always have extras left over for sure. And as you can see, I've got a lot of those little mini dimensionals, that's for sure. Okay, so this is for me a little bit directional because it's the main, this little heart lollipop is that main kind of image there. So now I'm just going to adhere this, and I want to still put it along this border of the designer series paper that's under there, because this piece here is not centered, it's off centered just a little bit. I can put it on this side, or I can put it on the left side like that. I can also, this might be interesting, we could also make it a diamond pattern. I'm going to make a diamond pattern tonight. I know the sketch we used had a square and a square, but who's to say we can't change it up a little bit? So I'm going to change it up. That's on the fly, you guys. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I have some scraps here from my previous cards, and I have the Give It a Whirl dies. And in the Give It a Whirl dies, there's these two little hearts. There's actually three, but I'm going to die cut my designer series paper using these hearts. So that one will fit in that So Saffron, and then this one will fit. I'm going to use actually the stripe heart, and I'll show you how I do that. So this paper here is too big to go through the mini cut and emboss. So I'm just going to take my scissors here. I don't like to waste paper too much here, so I'm going to just cut that heart out. And then on this one, because I'm just going to cut this paper down. Now here's another heart that you could die cut out. Okay, so think outside of the box when you are die cutting, or you could fussy cut that one out as well if you don't have these, if you don't have a heart die. So let me just grab my mini cut and emboss here, open it up, and I've got to find my plates. Here we are. All right, so I like to use plate number 3, plate number 2, then I'm going to add my paper down, and let me just zoom back out a little. All right, so I've got both of these down. Now I'm going to take my little tiny heart, put it on the So Saffron heart. Okay, it's not going to be 100%, but it's okay. You can add some little washi tape here if you feel like you need to, like if your plates aren't 100% straight. Like we know all of our plates will bow after a while, and mine are not completely flat anymore. But just use some washi tape. I hope Stampin' Up comes out with a magnetic plate for this machine and the cut and emboss machine as well, because that would be super, super useful. And we wouldn't have to use the washi tape, but I'm sure they will be. Not that I don't know any inside information on that. I want you to know, but I hope that they will. They did have a magnet plate for the larger one, but it just didn't work, and they took it off the market. And then they stand behind their products 100%. And what they did was, if you purchased a magnet plate, they gave you, I think it was a $25 credit, so you could use on product on like your next order, which I did. So Okay, that is all the die cutting we're doing for tonight, you guys. Just a little bit. All right, so let me just grab these because I don't want to lose them. Let me get these plates out of the way. And let's see what we've got. So we have a nice little heart there. If you really want to get carried away, you could fussy cut that little heart out. And then this other little heart. Let's see what we have. So we have a So Saffron heart, and we have Blushing Bride and some Real Red in there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to flip over the So Saffron heart. Oh, that purple side is pretty too. I'm going to take one of those dimensionals from my paper pumpkin, and let's add it to the back side of the tiny heart, and then just peel off that backing. Then we're going to layer it, excuse me, onto the striped heart. And isn't that really cute? We got a cute little embellishment, right? Love the stitching on both of those hearts. Hopefully you can see it. So hard to know. And then the instructions here show a embellishment here. It can be flower. For me, it's going to be my hearts. And now it's just like, where do I want to put it? So it did call for kind of somewhere off to the corner. So I'm not going to adhere this yet. I'm just going to kind of take a look at it. I'm going to leave it over to the side here because I'm not quite sure what I want to do with it. In the meantime, I'm going to add my strip of Designer Series paper to this inside panel, which is cut 4 by 5 1/4. Let me just take my liquid glue here. Let me ask a question. Everybody that's watching, and there is 11 people watching right now, what is your favorite adhesive, Stampin' Up! Adhesive? Let's see what we come up with. Put it in the comment box. What is, and you have to have a YouTube account to actually make a comment if you didn't know that, Gmail account. But what is your favorite Stampin' Up! Adhesive and why? Let's answer the why as well. So let me just find my seal. And I'm just going to put too much. Always put too much. All right, do we have any answers yet? Nobody has answered us yet, although my laptop is like 15-20 seconds behind. So hopefully we get some answers. What is your favorite Stampin' Up! Adhesive? And why? Okay, so I've got that panel down. We're still going to be working with this little heart here, but I do need to do some stamping. So I've got a scrap of that basic white. And again, we're going to be using the sentiment, "You Make My Heart Happy," and it's from Catching Butterflies. And I'm going to use the hardest ink for me, which is Real Red. Real Red for me is always juicy. I always get it on my hands, and it's just a challenge for me. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I want to stamp on a bigger piece because we're going to fussy cut that out. So let me just go to my scrap bin. And lightly, this has got a really skinny font. There we go. That's a lot better. Okay, so let me close up Real Red. And I'm going to find my paper snips. And what I want to do is cut this off, throw it out. I'm going to fussy cut it. So fussy cutting is just basically cutting around your sentiment or your image, whatever you want to cut out. Say it's the heart of that Designer Series paper, then it's just cutting around it and letting your scissors do most of the work. Okay, so I've got that cut out. All right, so now where do I want to put everything? So we have Tombow for the flexibility, seal for the inside panel because they're so glue. That is true, Linda. Yep. So Tombow, yeah, I've heard Tombow is like the #1 like selling like glue that people like. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this the same, that embellishment's over in that corner, but I might put the sentiment this way. I don't really want to cover up that heart. Let me think here. There. Now, it's getting lost. It's got to go in the middle here. I think I'm going to put some mini Stampin' Dimensionals on this one to give it some dimension and height over that strip. So let's add some more of them. I'm going to add 3 because this is kind of skinny, and 2 is probably not enough. So just, I'm going to press those down really well, and then let's just take those off with my take your pick tool. And now this one, I think I want to give this one some more height, so I'm going to take a regular Stampin' Dimensional, which is in my little storage. Nope, that's mini. I didn't take any out, so let's see if I can find some. Here we go. I'm going to take a mini Stampin' Dimensional. I'm going to put it over here because that's what the instructions said. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to lower it down. So I've got it centered on the edge. The heart is centered on the edge of the vellum. Then I'm going to take this sentiment and just figure out where I want to put it. I'm just going to put it down here. We're still going to put some dots, polished dots on here or something. Let's see. I've got a few left on this sheet, so I'm going to use these. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to use all of them. I definitely want one right here in that middle of that heart. And then you can just sprinkle the rest of them throughout the card. So I'm going to put them in the center of that little diamond. So 1, 2, let's put one over here, 3, 4, and last one, I can throw out this sheet. I'm going to put it right up here. Actually, I don't want it going straight. So let me just think here. I'm gonna put it right there in the middle of that Blushing Bride. Okay, so for the envelope, all I would really do is I could add some Designer Series paper to the flap. I didn't cut any, so I'm just going to take my Real Red again, and I'm going to take that sentiment from Catching Butterflies, which again is free during celebration. We're just going to stamp that right on the lower corner of that one. So this card is all finished. Let me just throw this out. And then what I can do is I'll put the one in the middle that we made together. And then this was my first one that I did not emboss, that vellum. And then this is the one I made with my team. So you can see I like that one with the diamond pattern, just tilting it. So 1, 2, or 3, what is your favorite? Well, I'm picking up and cleaning up my area. You guys can vote 1, 2, or 3. My vote is number 2, but don't let me influence you whatsoever. Let's see who's going to be the first vote. Still waiting for my laptop. Oh, number 2, Carol L. 2, everybody's going to say 2. I know it. Number 1, Denise. 3, 2, and 1. Oh, I like that, Claire, how you 3, 2, and 1. Okay. I love Highland Heather. That's like my favorite purple shade of Stampin' Up. Okay, so my next project is going to be that Slimline card. So let's clean up here, because I do need a lot more room for this project. I'm going to need my paper trimmer too. So you put those off to the side. So my challenge to myself was to make something for my team that I had never made, and that is a Slimline card, so, and an envelope to match. So here's my envelopes that I made. This one, excuse me, I made for this card here. Wait, no, I didn't. This one, these two. And then this one is the one I made. It goes like this. Yeah. I think that's how I had it. Okay, so Slimline cards in envelopes. I learned this from another demonstrator, and I apologize, I do not have her name, but she was very good. She's from North Carolina, and I wish I had her name, but I don't. But anyway, I wanted to learn. There's two different envelope sizes. We all know, I think, about the number 10 envelope, which is your business envelope. It's the white envelope. There's also something called a number 9 envelope. So the difference between a number 9 and a number 10 is the size. So if you want to jot this down to learn something, a number 9 envelope measures 8 7/8 by 3 7/8. Again, that's 8 7/8 by 3 7/8, a number 9. A number 10 is 9.5 inches by 4 1/4 inches. So 9.5 by 4 1/4. So if you make a Slimline card this size and you put it in a number 10 envelope, you've got over 1/2 of an inch around, and your card's going to move around. So a number 9, or you can make your own envelope, and I'm going to show you how to make your own envelope. It's super easy. And I choose patterns that I don't have to worry about any directions whatsoever. So this was my first example I made, and I used the Nature's Harvest stamp set and the Harvest dies. Now that is going to be a carryover to, it's carrying over to the next catalog, which is awesome. And I use Very Vanilla, so Evening Evergreen, Very Vanilla, the Daffodil Afternoon Designer Series paper, which is free during celebration with a $50 order. Then I've got a panel of Very Vanilla, which I stamped in 3rd generation ink, which is Petal Pink, and I use this stamp here. And then I stamped on the Very Vanilla some of these coneflowers. People say coneflowers or echinacea. I used, this one is with Blackberry Bliss, no, Rich Razzleberry, excuse me, dark and light. And then this one is Fresh Freesia, dark and light. The cones here are Calypso Coral on all 3 or 4 of these, okay? I popped up the coneflowers, and then I die cut from the Harvest Dies and Cinnamon Cider. I call it Wheat. And then there's a nice little flower on the underneath here in Crushed Curry. Those colors, Crushed Curry, I don't think Cinnamon Cider is in that Designer Series paper, but it goes nicely with it. On the inside, I stamped with the echinacea coneflower. I did use Winkostella on it, so there's kind of sparkly on my side. Again, Evening Evergreen, Very Vanilla. So we're going to make a simple card. This one here is the one I made with my team. I wanted it to be simple because a lot of my team members don't have a lot of products, and I wanted to show them a new die set that I have and also how to use their paper. The inside, I just love this stamp set. It's called Flowing Flowers, and I've stamped in Flirty Flamingo, So Saffron. So if you don't have this stamp set, can I just say it is gorgeous, and you should add it to your starter kit for sure. This one, the reason why I'm saying that is because this one has floral. So if you like floral images, they stamp beautifully. Also has a happy birthday, a thank you, time for a happy dance, sending a card instead of a text, just a note. So it's a very nice all occasion, happy birthday, thank you kind of stamp set. And it's a cling stamp set too. The block D would be a block that's universal for all of those images. And you really only need maybe 2 ink colors. And some people will use their sponges or your brushes to add different colors on there. If you don't have all of that, you know, some of us don't have all that stuff in our craft rooms and we're building up our inventory. So just stamping in one color certainly looks really nice as well. So we're gonna get started making the one that I don't even know what it's gonna look like one. So everything is on the floor over here in a basket. So let me just move that into the picture. All right, so I've got this. And we're going to be making or using You're a Peach Designer Series paper. And the stamp set is Sweet as a Peach. It's in the annual catalog as a bundle. And I'm going to use Special Moments, which is a free stamp set with a $100 order during Celebration. Don't forget, Celebration ends February 28th. So after that, you're not going to have, you won't have the free products to earn. So Celebration definitely does help us out building our supplies in our craft room. Ink colors, Calypso Coral, and Pear Pizzazz. So, oh, and then for the embellishment, I'm using some of these sequins from the Hugs and Kisses Paper Pumpkin, or Kisses and Hugs, I can't remember what it was. But I know I got the right words. These are all the ones I have left over. So see, you can build up your craft room supplies also with paper pumpkin kits too. All right, so everything I need is here, hopefully. All right, so this is going to be your card base, and this is Balmy Blue, and it's cut 8.5. Okay, so this is 8.5 by 7, scored at 3.5. Okay, so we're just going to fold this over. Take your oh my God, see, it's Friday. I can't remember what this was now. I remember it's a bone folder. Oh gosh, it's been kind of a long week. So bone folder, burnish it nicely so you have a crisp fold. All right, so then the next layer up is going to be Pear Pizzazz. Okay, Balmy Blue, Pear Pizzazz. Both of these colors are in that paper, so that's why I've chosen them. This is 8.25 by 3.25, so just a 1/4 inch smaller on all sides. Then I've got that Sweet as a Peach, You're a Peach Designer Series paper. This is directional, so make sure when you're cutting your paper, a 1/4 inch smaller than that Pear Pizzazz panel. And this is cut 8 by 3. So super easy. Let's take, since a lot of you like the multi-purpose liquid glue, that's what I'm gonna use. And that helps me out because some of you guys are my card club members, and I always send after 6 consecutive months a free Stampin' Up! Supplies worth $25. So that's always good to remember as one of the gifts. Okay, so we're gonna layer this piece on to the Pear Pizzazz, 1/4 inch border. Okay, and then if you wanted to add ribbon to this card, you could do it. Maybe I'll do that with this one, and I'll show you how. You're gonna need Stampin' Dimensionals because you want to, I'm gonna wrap it. So let me just cut these edges off. Okay, and you're gonna need dimensionals to lift it up. I gotta figure out what ribbon I have on my wall over there. And we'll see which color I should pick. So let me just take a second and look over there. And Oh, I think that one will work. Let's see. Yeah. So I chose Open Weave Ribbon. Okay, it's really pretty. This is Pale Papaya. So it's a nice soft orange color that will look probably pretty good. Again, I don't know what this is going to look like. The only thing I know is it's going to look like one of my card club cards. So let me show you. Let me find the one that I'm trying to do here. Oh, here it is. So this is one of my card club cards for this month. And I'm going to layer this here on the card, although I'm using some different colors. I'll show you these cards to you at the end if you're interested in my card club. Okay, so let's actually back up. Let's work on this piece here, then I can add the ribbon and I'll know a little bit more. So we are working with photopolymer stamps. I've got a foliage. I've got Have a Peachy Day. I have the peach. And then I have, this is Just a Little High from Me, and that's from Special Moments. I need my piercing mat, which is nowhere to be found still. So I'm just going to use my mouse pad. And I'm going to use, let's see, I'm going to use Calypso Coral for my sentiment. So let's just ink this up in Calypso Coral. We're going to stamp in the center of that die. And the dies I'm using come from, let me think, Beautiful Shapes dies. Okay, so that's the stamping. These were extra in case I made a mistake, so I'll put those off to the side. Now, where'd my hexagon go? Oh, Lord. Where's my hexagon? Hey, do you guys see my hexagon? Where did it go? I'm looking for it and I can't find it. I might have to die cut another one. Leave me a comment if you really know where it is, because I can't see it. I know I had it. Oh, I found it. There was no way you were going to find it. It was under my ink. Okay, so we've got these, and what I want to do is I'm going to layer these on top of each other. Okay, and then this is going to go on the card. And then where do I want the bow? Okay, I've got an idea. Okay, so let's turn this over. And then I think it was Linda that used seal on her white. So we're gonna add that to the back of the stamped circle. Then I'm going to put dimensionals on top, on the back of this one here, because it does need some dimension. I think you can actually get away with 2, so let's try that. All right, this has got some etching around it. I don't know if you noticed that when I was showing my card, but see that? So this is a die cut that makes all this really fancy etching. I'm gonna layer this one there, and this is Balmy Blue that I just layered it on, that color, which is in the paper, and it's also the card base. So now, before we add that ribbon, kind of want to know where we want this. I think I'm definitely gonna go for the center. So I want my ribbon coming around the center. You could put it down here if you wanted to, you know, or up a little bit higher. Totally your taste. But I'm going to go with the center. Oops. Let me remove these backings first. Now I know a lot of you guys watch me every Friday and on my Facebook channel too. Are you guys now using your Take Your Pick tool to take these backings off your Stampin' Dimensionals? Do you guys use that? Let us know. It's something I've learned, and that tool is just so super handy. right, so I've got my ribbon on the back side and it is flat. So this is gonna go right on top of that balmy blue base. Okay, this can still go back and forth freely. Let's wrap it around, and I'm gonna tie a bow here. Okay, got awful quiet because Karen's thinking, is she gonna be able to do this? Yes, hopefully. I always twist this left side. There's gotta be a trick and I just don't know what it is. Okay, let me just make this a little bit smaller. Okay. I'm not going to cut that tail off yet until I figure out I've got this the way I want it, because I can always retie it if I need to. Okay, so now this is going to go here. However, we're going to pop this one up too. 3 dimensionals or your backings will work. Just make it like a triangle. Okay, oh gosh, there goes my husband. He's watching TV downstairs. He's got it like probably on volume 50. It's probably because he's sleeping. He had the day off today from work because it was a floating holiday. I didn't have that luxury. And I'm working tomorrow at one of our 5K races. So I've got to work half a day tomorrow. But that's okay. I'm getting comp time. Building up all that comp time before I go part-time on February 28th. That is so close, you guys. Like so close. 2 weeks away, right? Almost 30 hours. And I'm going to have Wednesdays off, you guys. A full day off. And so I'm going to be working 7:30 to 3:30. I think it's 3:30. Get a half an hour lunch break. And then Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, those 3 days. And then Wednesdays I have off, so maybe I'll do another live or video or another kit or something on Wednesdays. And then Fridays I work 6 hours. So I can't wait, right? Like, I'm so excited. You have no idea. Okay, so that looks pretty fancy with that ribbon, okay? So now we're just gonna add these sequins on. These are leftover from Paper Pumpkin. We're going to sprinkle them throughout the card, make it like shine and look beautiful. We're going to still work on our inside panel. I'm going to put 5 of these on here. So 1, 2, let's go down here, 3, 4, and let's go right here, 5. Okay. The inside, I'm going to try to stamp a peach. Okay. So let's bring in my mouse pad here. My peach is here and that sentiment. Okay, so now this is kind of a distinctive stamp, so it's not going to be totally stamped. It's going to show some shading. Okay, just like a peach has, it's never 100% orange. So that was Clipsal Coral. And then I'm going to take Pear Pizzazz and I'm going to ink up the foliage, the leaves for that peach. And then this gets set right on top of that peach. Okay, isn't that really fun? Peach. Okay, so you're probably wondering, why am I stamping a peach there? Well, I'm going to use that message in green, just a little high from me. And I'm just gonna stamp it on the lower left, oh, it's crooked. Oh well, lower left side of that peach. And that looks, I think that looks pretty good. The last thing for this inside panel is that designer series paper I cut, which I didn't know how much I was gonna need and where I wanted to put it, but I'm gonna add it down to the bottom here. And let me just gonna rip that off, tear it off. Let's take my, actually, I'm just gonna use a liquid glue this way. And then add this. Now that's directional, and it doesn't matter. Add that strip to the bottom. I like to use or leave a little bit of white at the very bottom, like 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to take my paper snips. I'm going to snip from the back. Okay. Let's cap this. Move this out of the way. And then we will take my Stampin' Seal, and I'm just going to add adhesive to the corners and a little bit in that middle there. Then add it to the inside. You could take your Wink Stella to give that peach a little bit of shine. Just lightly brush stroke the peach. And then it'll give it a nice little glitter. And then if you want to switch over, just kind of brush out the Wink Stella out of that tip there. And I'm going to use it on the Pear Pizzazz foliage. Okay. And you could take it and move it and kind of go over these peaches a little bit too, just real quick. It'll give that front of your card a little bit of sparkle, just like these sequins are doing right now. So, I just thought, would a sequin look good right here? Sure, why not? Let's put one right there. Okay, so now that is the card. Now you need an envelope to make this work, right? So let me get rid of this ribbon. I'm gonna need my paper trimmer in my kind of cheat notes there. So we're gonna start with a piece of that Euro Peach Designer Series paper. If you wanna do this with me, you have about 30 seconds to get a piece of Designer Series paper, and you need to cut it 8.5 by 11, okay? So while you're doing that real quick, I'm gonna grab my paper trimmer. I'm gonna double check that this is 8.5 by 11 too. There goes my blade. Oh, my scoring blade keeps coming off my track. So that's 8.5 by 11. My paper trimmer, I bought it like when we first started to order these, and it's like, this one keeps coming off because I've used it so much that I actually bought another one because this one's getting so like worn out. You just use it so much. Okay, so we need to score. And when you're scoring Designer Series paper, you need to have a light touch. So with our Stampin' trimmer, we have the darker blade is the cutting blade. So move that one out of the way. And then you're going to use the light gray scoring tool. You are going to score on the short side. So the short side goes up top, and you want to score that at 2.5. So slide your paper over to 2.5, and then you're going to score lightly up and down like 2 or 3 times. Then you're going to slide this all the way over to 6.5. Okay. Again, up and down, up and down. Then we're going to, this is no direction on it, so don't worry about it. So we're going to turn it, and then on this side here, you are going to score at 1.5. And then you're going to score at 10.5. I think it's easier for me to go to 10.5. Or you can look on this side, and it needs to be 1/2 inch. So 10.5 over here, or half an inch on the left side. Okay, that is all you need your paper trimmer for. So let's get that out of the way. Next thing is we need to cut off the 4 tabs, the 4 corners, okay? So we'll just take our paper snips, and you're going to cut up to that score line and then just trim it off. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. And then the corners at the top. So all the way up to that score line, and then cut it off. Okay, get those out of the way. Now, this is when you would decide which paper you want on the front side of your envelope. I'm going to mail this, so I want to be able to put a sticker on here, a mailing label, and that would be fine. So what I do with designer series paper, I don't use my bone folder for the chance because it's thinner than our cardstock. I just use my fingers. So I just run them, fold it, and run them up and down several times. And then we'll do the same on the ends. Okay, now we're gonna open this back up. We wanna round the corners. So I have my detailed trio punch. This has a corner rounder on it. So I'm gonna round these two corners here. So we're gonna slide this into the punch. Make sure it's all the way in and then press it. And then we've got a nice little arch there, nice little rounded corner. And do the same on this one. Okay, nice round corner. Now this is a tricky one, but you can do it. What I like to do is I like to get this side out of the way, so I'll just fold it under. And we wanna round this corner. Actually, let me see. Yeah, you have to fold it. Just get it all the way in there and punch. I think I got it. Let me just try again. Yep. And then the same thing on this side. Rounding the corners makes it look a lot better. Okay, that's all done. Now, decide which, it doesn't really matter. I like to have the longer, wider piece on the bottom, and then this is gonna get layered on top. So let's take our liquid glue, and we're just gonna run it along the edge. Along the edge here. There we go. A thin line. Then we're gonna fold it over top and just press it. Now just keep moving your fingers back and forth for a good like 10 seconds. That way we know that that paper is stuck, because you don't want this coming apart. Okay, now this one, you might want to use your bone folder on if you want, because it's a pretty thick. You don't have to, but if you do, just take it and go lightly. Open this flap back up, and you're going to add some more liquid glue. You can also use Stampin' Seal Plus or score tape. They're tear tape. And now this one here, since you're going to mail it, you need to mail it shut. So you can take, I've got some leftover, guess where this came from? Paper pumpkin, you guys. I'm going to use my leftover tear tape from Paper Pumpkin a few months ago. Still using it. And I'm going to add that right here. I'm going to use my bone folder to give this a nice burnish, because when you're ready to seal this up, it's easier to pull that backing off, or you can use your take your pick tool. So here's a nice little coordinating envelope that really didn't take that much time at all. You're using your designer series paper that we love to hoard, right? And then we can just slip this card right in and close it shut. And this goes in a regular mail. It's not too heavy, and it looks awesome, don't you guys think? So let's show this card again. Your little bow gets a little crushed, but just fix it. So Really fun card, you guys. I love slimline cards. Now that I've made them, these are so fun to make. Yes, you use a little bit more paper because you can't get 2 card bases out of, you know, 1 sheet of cardstock. That's 8.5 by 11. But it's always fun to make something different and to learn to do something different. So my challenge to myself for my team was to make a slimline card because I've always wanted to make one. So let me show you. I will go back and we'll team up everything here. And I'm going to zoom out so I have a lot more space there to show you everything. And oh my gosh, look at my desk. So what did we make today? We made the slimline card with Your Peach Designer Series paper. And then the other ones I made, this one I made as my first ever slimline card using the Harvest dies and what's the name of that stamp set again? Nature's Harvest. Okay. And then the inside of that one is that, really pretty. Then my card I made with the team, I wanted to keep it very simple because a lot of my team members don't have a lot of stuff and they're just learning how to paper craft. So I used the dies here, which are called Beautiful Shapes. And I stamped with my most favorite, well, I don't know if it's my favorite, but I keep going back to it, right? How many times have I stamped with this one? It's Flowing Flowers and Clips of Coral So Saffron. And here's the envelope, slimline envelope. And then this makes a fabulous gift with a list pad. Okay, this is my host reward for the month of February when placing an order of $50 or more and you're using this host code here. If your order is $150 or more, don't use that host code, or just buy the starter kit for me, right? And then here's a sample that I've used. Our Valentine's Day cards are You Make My Heart Happy from Catching Butterflies. And this is a sample card. This is a card we made tonight, and I changed up to the square to a diamond pattern, which is fun. And then Highland Heather. And then as promised, I wanted to show you my card club. There's still time to join. It closes on the 20th. It's a Sunday, so February 20th, you need to register by and subscribe. $39, and you'll make 8 cards, 2 of the same design. So let me just go through here. You're going to get a full bolt of the Evening Evergreen ribbon and a full package of the polished dots along with all the die cuts. So here's the one we just made and layered together with that slimline card. So all the card bases, all the inserts, I give you basic white for the inserts. You'll get a 6x12 paper pack of the Flowering Fields Designer Series paper. So that's this one. This is my favorite one out of all of them. Then here's this one too. It's a fun fold with a peekaboo on the inside. Again, you'll get those punches. This is from the Bow Punch. And this is So Saffron panel, which I will emboss for you. This is a gift card holder / card. So this one's super fun. It's a flat back, so it doesn't open, but it opens on the inside, and you'll get the stitch so sweetly. You won't get the gift card, but this is to show you this is a gift card pocket. I'll give you a punched out tab that you'll use. That's in Pumpkin Pie. Love this paper. It's so beautiful. And then here's the final one. This is more of an easy card for those card club members that are still learning how to stamp and to layer. These are the Stitch So Sweetly dies, Rich Razzleberry, basic white. I stamped in Rich Razzleberry, but if you only have base Memento Black, that will work in every single one of these card designs. I make it super easy, so you can use what you have in your craft room, or you can purchase these stamp sets that I use as at a discount, meaning I pay your sales tax and shipping to me to get it to me, and then I'll just send it in with your club. So 6 months consecutively gets you $25 of Stampin' Up! Product from me as a thank you and a gift. And then this is the one we made last week in Rich Raspberry and Highland Heather, right? This one's super easy. So it gives you some options as to, oh, this one, that's right. I put a zinnia. I folded the zinnia card pack in half, and I put a little tab on it. You can send seed packets too. That'd be a great thing to do this time of year because we're all getting ready mentally, at least where I live in Vermont, to plant seeds. And my grandmother always planted her tomato plants, everything from seeds. And she used eggshells, like halves of eggshells as the part of the potting soil mixture. So she is so thrifty. All right, that's all I've got for you. I want to open up that box of Stampin' Up! Goodies that I got so I can hopefully send out those matte black dots to my customers that ordered to me or from me last month. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. I will be working half day tomorrow. So if you have any questions, you can always email me at inspiredbygraham@gmail.com. And yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know. I can't go back to YouTube and answer these questions because it doesn't allow me. So I'm going to scroll real quick if you're still on here and you asked a question and I didn't answer. So let's, I don't think there were any. Okay, doesn't look like it. No, okay, so we don't have any questions. I don't have any answers except for have a fabulous night. Take care.